Have you ever been in a meeting and someone, usually a guy, undermines you? It can often happen in hierarchical settings and leave you feeling socially excluded, harassed, or unappreciated. In this video, we're going to explore what undermining behaviour is, and more importantly, how you can deal with it at work. Have you ever felt offended by something someone's done, or socially excluded by some actions? It may be because you were asked to serve the drinks at a client meeting, or someone gave you an unfair nickname in front of the team. There can often be blurred lines between what is banter, healthy competition, or in fact undermining behaviour. It can take many forms and can look like any or all of the following. A nickname or teasing which impacts on your standing. Something like, "Here's tardy Tracy, she's never on time." Failing to give you access to relevant information or blocking opportunities for you. "Sorry, I didn't think you needed to know about that." Heaping on unnecessary pressure or setting unrealistic deadlines that just add pressure to yourself and are a total power flex. Failing to give you credit. It may be in front of a client or, in fact, within a team meeting where they don't give you the respect you deserve for your idea or your work. Allocating you menial tasks such as taking notes or making drinks in client meetings. Or it may be giving you unnecessary data analysis to do on a project that adds no value but means it takes up your time and detracts from your other work. Removing responsibility or authority from you in front of others. "Sarah, you obviously can't deal with this, so I'm going to give it to Clive." Reliving your past mistakes or errors and continually bring them up when they're no longer relevant. "Sarah, we all know what happened when you tried to do this last time, so we're not going to let you do it." Repeating the point you've just made in a meeting or conversation, but loudly and more strongly. If this has happened, you might want to check out our heap eating video below. So once you recognise it's happening, there's a number of things that you can do to help manage the situation. If it's a one-off situation, you can say something like, "Thanks, Dave, that's exactly the strategy that I suggested, so I think we should go ahead and adopt that." Or, "Dave, I noticed in that meeting that you talked about I instead of we on that project. Can you explain to me why you thought that was a good idea?" However, if it's happening on a more regular basis or it's more systematic, you might want to think adopting several different strategies which can help you manage the impact. When discussing a project in a public forum, be comfortable with claiming your own work. As women, we often use we instead of I, but there's nothing wrong with claiming the credit for the work that you've done. You can say something like, "Dave, I'm glad that you like my work on this. I worked extra hours and put in lots of effort, so I'm really glad it's paid off." Future-proofing your input. If you know that this is going to be presented perhaps to a senior manager or a client, help to build a presentation structure so that you make sure you've got time to put your voice into it and also claim credit for your work. Be assertive in a meeting. You can say a phrase such as, "Thanks, Dave, that's really helpful feedback," and then follow it up with a one-to-one conversation with him. Talk it over at a peer level. Sometimes it's helpful to have someone who you trust on the team that you can bounce ideas off. I have a work wife who I can vent to, but also can give me perspective and feedback if I'm being oversensitive or if I read a situation wrong. Seek an ally before the meeting. If you're going into a situation, perhaps your weekly team meeting where this stuff happens all the time, then seek an ally before that. Explain the behaviours that you find are unhelpful within your team, and then if they see those things happening, they may be able to intervene on your behalf or redirect the conversation. If necessary, start to write down the things that happen to you. They may be a useful log if you need these in the future. Be proactive in sharing and generating your ideas. If you find that other people are taking credit for your work regularly, it may be useful to start sharing out your ideas ahead of time. You can do this through messages, emails, group chats, to allow people to understand that it was your idea in the first place and head off that issue before it happens. Finally, and probably most importantly, be generous in sharing the successes of your colleagues. It will help to build a better team culture for everyone and make sure that this behaviour doesn't continue. There's a great book on this topic called Lift As You Climb by Viv Groskop, which I've linked in the description below. It's definitely worth a read if this is something that's impacting you. I'd love to hear about what your challenges are in this area, so please leave a comment below to let me know how you get on. I'm Liz, and this is my channel Simplification, where we give you the tips, tricks and hacks to help navigate your career and help you overcome challenges.